Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are, whatever time it is. My name is Scarlett Ramey. We're discussing recovery, eating disorders, the struggles, the process, everything. And I am going to be going through something pretty extensive, and I know you guys are all very much used to that. And used to me doing a lot each Sunday. And so now I think what I'm going to be doing is going every other Sunday in order to help us digest emotionally, physically, spiritually, anyway, the content that I'm spewing. So today is kind of a special, different episode, and a lot of questions have come through about, am I right for this? Should I be doing this? And you know what? Anyone can try. Anyone can attempt doing this. I just need the judgment to make sure that you are not judging yourself if it doesn't speak to you yet, if you're not in that place yet. It's okay. My whole motto is the place where you are is the magic. That is, if we can tell the truth about where you are and what you are struggling with and what your next step is, that's the painful place where recovery actually begins. So I have a huge announcement. I'm super excited to say that the Ramey Nutrition Insider email club, and I can put a link to that. Please remind me if I keep forgetting to put email links to everything. But through this live and through blogs and through everything, our Ramey Nutrition Insiders has grown to represent 7 countries. So that includes the U.S., but 7 countries is a lot. So I'm super excited to be talking to 7 different countries about eating disorder recovery and empowering people to do it their way and the way that they internally truly know. So again, I'm Scarlett Ramey, licensed dietitian and registered dietitian nationally. So I have a master's degree in nutrition. I can tell you that none of it matters. It really doesn't. This is about you and your journey and my guiding you back to you. That is the way that you're going to recover. That's the way that permanent recovery is actually going to happen. So again, 7 countries. I just had to say I'm so excited. I'm so excited for the reach, and I super apologize about the hair today. So today I'm going to just run through what I kind of ran through with the pre-show and say that it is normal to judge where we are in the recovery process because you guys are all stupid high achievers, crazy high achievers that want to go from A to Z. You want recovery now. You know what that looks like. You know, you have this perfection idea of what recovery looks like. And my job, honestly, a lot of the times, probably 66% of the time, give or take a percentage, is to pull you off the wall of trying to do the perfect recovery, okay? Or try to do recovery or what you think of recovery as perfectly. So our goal is really truly to take that A to B step. When we try to go from A to Z, we have these expectations that are A to Z. I'm going to, this is from a patient that I talked to yesterday. I'm going to get up, I'm going to do my gratitude journal, I'm going to be happy, I'm going to be excited to see people, I'm going to eat on a very regimented, scheduled program exactly what I need for my body, mind, and soul, and I'm going to do all these things, and I'm going to feel good, and it's like I had to tear her off the wall and say, we need to start with where you are, and that's not where you are. But it's addictive. I do want to let you guys know that it is addictive to have these expectations of being able to run an entire marathon through recovery, because what that does is it gives you a nice, beautiful excuse to not even show up at the starting line. And so a lot of people make all of these expectations about running this recovery marathon in order to avoid coming to the starting line. And so that A to B step, that infinitely small step, if you take your expectations and cut them into 26ths, that 1/26th of a step is how painfully small that first step is. And it's painful because it's real. It's painful because it's something you can actually do. And if you can actually do it, holy feelings. I mean, that's going to bring in a lot of feelings. So, and that A to B step brings in a lot of judgment, a lot of, this is too small, I should be doing more, on and on and on. So if and when you're ready to feel those feelings, that's when we need to start with that A to B step. So it's painful, it's addictive to make those giant A to Z lists, expectation, anyone make to-do lists, expectations. Feel free to comment and shout out from where you're watching. But today you're really going to be putting me to the side and just listening. So I do have a couple of visuals that I do want to share with you. But we're going to get right into the project. So after 19 minutes of me blabbering on. So we're going to get to a visual, and everybody stay with me here. Okay, so I wrote this. My chicken scratch is ridiculous, but I do want to go through this. So this is that road through recovery, okay? This is you getting on your own process, you taking that A to B step, okay? And you going to recovery, okay? And I mentioned that recovery is not a destination. It is, but you can see from this graph that it's not the end. Does that make sense? It's part of the process. So you're actually going to be going through recovery to a place where you need to start looking at who you are without an eating disorder. And I think if we're not in this place, this is who I'm talking to today. So this is, I'm going to be using language that speaks to this community, okay? But if you're in any of this community, okay, I'm not necessarily talking to anybody down here just because that's not where I specialize, and I'm not going to be beneficial for you. So trigger warning, turn this off right now if you are triggered by anything. But basically we're going to take a deep breath and we're going to go through this. So if you're in this, I want you to start thinking about your A to B process right now, okay? But if you're here, if you have gone through that stage of recovery and you're now into this piece of identity, who am I now? Who am I? Who am I going to be? What is this recovery about? Why did I do this? Who am I becoming, etc.? That is this project. I'm stupid excited about it. If you're done, hopefully you're not watching this because you're not even interested. That's my definition of done for you guys, is you're on to doing huge things that change and move the world. So let's talk about this piece here, okay, the you. And if you're here, you can, or anywhere here, you can start thinking about what you would think about if you didn't think about eating disorder thoughts, obsessions, numbers, weight, body image, food, calories, etc. What would you want to think about? That's a good thing to start writing about. But we're going to get right into the vision boarding. It's not vision boarding, I'm sorry. I'm not a therapist, so I don't do art therapy. I don't do any of that business. It's very science-driven. It's very to the point, and it's very identifying who you might be, what your thoughts might be around, what your passions are, and what life might look like without the eating disorder. Okay? So, having said that, this vision project, so I do this with my recovered patients, the patients who have gone through the recovery process and are on to identifying what their passions are, what they want their life to look like now. It's a difficult situation because it's not something in treatment you normally talk about when you go through recovery. Usually when you go through treatment and you reach an acceptable medical weight where you're not in danger, you're released. So a lot of people don't actually go through the quote recovery process because they're released right when they get to a place where they can start thinking about recovery. But the patients that I've seen have gone through the recovery process and are done, and now really looking toward their lives and looking toward their passions. So this is a project that I do with my recovery beyonders, the ones who have gone beyond recovery. And they don't want to talk about body image. They don't want to talk about food. They're beyond it. They have healed the issues that sparked the eating disorder behaviors, and they're empowered to live a life that they want, and now they want to figure out what they want. So we are going to pull out a piece of paper and a pen, a marker, whatever. Your poster board, if you have it, that's super exciting. I hope you have two, because you're going to want to revise this and actually make it really, really pretty, okay? But my call to action here is that you just do what I say in the moment and as fast as you can. I really need that to happen. Your gut speaks volumes, and your gut knows the answers, and that's where we're going to start. Okay, so that's where we're going to start, and that's the middle of it. So let's start listening to the truth of yourself, and that, I need you to remember, is what got you through and beyond recovery. So we obviously know that we can trust it because it got you to where you are. And so let's listen to it again about what it has planned for you in the future, what you secretly do want, what your secret passions truly are. So, oh look, here's a blank piece of paper. Very exciting. So in the middle of your vision board, middle of your board, piece of paper, whatever, you're going to draw just a square, okay? It can be a circle, I don't really care. But it's going to take up about that much of your page, okay? So in that square, what I want us to do before we even start is just take a really, really deep breath in and out. And I want you to really get in touch with that gut, with that voice that got you to where you are, with that voice that you know you can trust to give you the answers in the moment, and that can allow you to change those answers at any point in your life. And release this judgment of yourself, where you need to be, what you need to be doing, what other people expect of you, and what you expect of yourself that may be unrealistic or something that just doesn't interest you. And another deep breath before we start. And I want you to really think about what the feeling is of actual freedom from the process. What does life feel like when the process is over? When the process is done, what can you write in that square? What will it feel like? It could be freedom. It could be energy. It could be the name of the company you've been dreaming about starting. It could be starting a family. It could be it's the dream, it's the passion, it's the feeling, it's what your gut has been wanting this entire time. That's what we're going to place in that field, okay? So I need you to just place that in that field right now and throw out a comment and just let me know when you're done. And I'm not going to give you much time, okay? So I need you to really just throw that in there. We can change it. we can change it after this. So please just throw that feeling in there, okay? The feeling or the response that I've gotten from a lot of people has been freedom. And you're welcome to share what that feeling is, or you can just shoot out a comment that has a check mark in it, meaning that you're done with this piece of it and we are going to move on. So I'm going to do an example one so that you guys can see, okay? Wow, this is interesting doing this through so I'm going to write, so just so you guys don't have any judgment around your own style. So I'm going to write freedom, okay? So that is something that I've seen as an example of these vision projects, okay? So we're not cutting, we're not pasting, there's no magazines. This is all just done with a pen and paper, and then graduated to a beautiful rainbow poster board if you want, okay? So we're going to throw that in. If you want to comment on what that is, you're more than welcome. We would love to hear some examples, and if not, that's okay too. So from that feeling, we're going to take another deep breath, okay? And from that feeling, we're going to start thinking about possibilities, okay? And possibilities mean that it can be anything. And it will be anything. And I want it to be anything. And I want it to look big and bold and crazy and scary, and know that it can be changed, but nothing actually comfortable. Okay? So from this place of this feeling, okay, whatever you may have written in your square, let's start offshooting. What would you do if you felt that? If you felt that right now, what would you do? And that's where we're going to start doing this. And you're going to start going as quickly as you can, okay? Start writing, start offshooting, okay? Start offshooting. Just big main ideas. I would start a math school for girls. I would lead a influencer campaign. I would run a marathon. I would start talking to my mom again, whatever it may be, okay? And these are the big main ideas. That's what I want you to do, the offshoots, okay? So those are going to be your offshoots. Write as quickly as you can and write as many as you can, okay? Big ideas, as big as you can feel. If I felt freedom every single day in my gut, I would feel free to do this. If I had energy, I would feel like I had the energy to do this. From this passion would end up inspiring the world. Does that make sense? Does anyone have any questions thus far regarding this? Feel free to comment. I'm going to continue going on this rant, but I do want to answer any questions if anyone has any questions thus far. Giant, big ideas. From this idea of passion, what would come of it? What would come of it? What would be things that came out of it? What have you always wanted to do that you never did because you were spending 95% of your time thinking about your eating disorder or recovery or your relationship that was dysfunctional, or any of those eating disorder recovery thoughts? What would, now that we feel this, now that we have this, what is it that you want to come of it? What are those passions that you want to come out of it? Write quickly, very quickly. This is all ugly right here, okay? I mean, as you can see, right? And I pride myself on doing things ugly and then transferring it to something a little bit more tangible. So you're going to do this in such a quick manner that you're going to be able to transfer it to something big and beautiful and more organized, okay? But for right now, we're just writing it. Try and do this in a way that's uglier than mine. That would be the goal, because it means you're going faster. What are those things that you would do if you had the feeling of being free and being done from the entire recovery process? Who would you be? What would you do? What would you want to do? What's something you've always wanted to do, right? So those are our big ideas, okay? Everyone get that? Okay. So from those ideas, okay, let's say school for girls. I don't know. I've heard this, right? What would come of that? How would this benefit the world? How would this affect people beyond yourself? Okay? For each one, run a marathon. I would inspire people. If you opened, again, these are all of your dreams and passions. What would you do if you were done with the eating disorder recovery process? Now that you have a life beyond recovery, who are you? What is that feeling that all of those passions can come from, okay? And then this is, how does it affect the world? From here, we're going to say, a school for girls, we're going to increase education globally. That's a big deal. That is a big deal. Do you see how this is so far beyond body image, vision boarding, all of these things? This is about affecting the world through your recovery, through going beyond your recovery into your own life. Your life matters. The life beyond your recovery matters. And there's work to be done about it. When you recover, that's not the end. When you are done recovering, that is not the end. That's where your life begins. That's where we start talking about your passions, okay? If you want to be a motivational speaker, I'm going to use another patient's dreams. She opened the first diabetes helpline. She did it. So that it's insane. It's amazing that what people can do from the recovery process and through the recovery process, through and to their life. Because the goal is not recovery. Recovery is only what we get to. It's only getting to, a third of that process. So if we get to recovery and stop there, you've missed it. We've missed it. We've all missed it, okay? Our goal is to get to, through, and beyond recovery. So this is where we are right now, okay? This is where we're visioning. This is that vision project for you to figure out who you are and what you are meant to do in the world. You already know it. We just have to check in with your gut. And I don't know what that means to you. I don't know if it's spiritual. I don't know if it's religious. I don't know, and I don't really care. Listen to it, right? Because that's how we're going to get the answers that are this vision project, okay? Really, really messy. And this is how our recovery process is going to end up benefiting the world. This is how you are going to be in the world and why your life is going to truly, truly matter. Your life beyond recovery. Your life is not about recovery. Your life is not about treatment. Your life is not about getting to recovery. And your life is not actually about getting through recovery. Your life is about the end of recovery and getting to what is important to you. And what's important to you is going to come from that feeling, that gut feeling. Okay? And interestingly enough, through the eating disorder, we have actively stopped listening to the gut. And so when we start listening to the gut, we start moving to and through recovery. And the gut continues to get more and more sensitive and more specific. More and more specific about the answers to what you really want to do. What are your passions, And all of these can be crossed out immediately. They can be crossed out later and say, nope, that's not it. But you know what? This is. And this is how it's going to change the world. And this is how I'm going to affect my world. And this is how it's going to matter. This is how my life is going to matter, because it does matter. And this is the project that I do with those patients. So I'm going to get back to this process. I've had a lot of people jump in and ask how to work with me. And I've had to get them to the Facebook Live where I'm wearing the black shirt with little white polka dots. Please look for it if you're new here. But I work from here through this area, okay? The people who are in doubt or have the feelings of I can't recover because, I have a small child, or can't recover because I don't have time, or I can't recover because I keep getting triggered all over the place. The people who are constantly triggered, that's not my specialty. You're not going to benefit from the work that I do, okay? The people who are going to benefit from the work that I do are the people that are consistently, it's very loud here, the people who are going to benefit from the work that I do is they're going to be the people who get on the road of their own process to, through, and beyond recovery, through to life. So it's going to be a process regardless. So, but these are specialties that I'm not good at. So I just want everyone to know and understand that I don't specialize in that. I will be posting in groups where there are a lot of trigger warnings because I am trying to get to these people and really try and help these people move through their own process. So Scarlett works here and Scarlett does not work there. So we'll go back. Okay. So I hope you guys found this helpful, beneficial. And I do want those of you who are not in that place of beyond recovery to really hear what those conversations look like, what that work looks like. It's a different kind of work, and it's exciting to have different work other than, meal plans and what is emotionally upsetting and how we feel about our bodies. And I want to shed some light on the different conversations that will happen when you reach that stage. And that stage is not the end. As you can see, once you have your passion, there's a ton of work that goes into your passion, and that becomes your life, and that becomes who you are. And I truly believe that people that have eating disorders are serious geniuses. They're very, very, very smart, and they do have the impact, or they do have the power to impact the world at large. And getting through this is going to make that voice a little stronger and make that voice a little louder of the gut to remind you you have the power and conviction to get through the hardest part of your life, and you're absolutely 1,000% ready to take on life and do things that affect the world and do things that change the world, just by you living your life and living your best life and living your passion. I'm going to return back because I can hear you. I can hear you through the phone. Those of you who are not at this place and at this place, I need you to stop. Stop judging. Please stop judging. Please stop judging. Let's get back to where you are and let's take that A to B step. The A to Z is not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. It's going to set you up for not even getting to the starting line of your own recovery, okay? So stop the judgment right now. Stop the judgment right now. I am where I am, and that's a beautiful place, and that's exactly where I need to be. However many times you need to tell yourself this, tell it to yourself. Stitch it on a pillow, use that second poster board to write that mantra on. Put it up, put it in big, bold, rainbow letters. I am where I need to be, and that's exactly where I need to be to get to where I'm gonna go and where I want to go. And it will eventually, the process that I'm going through and my A to B steps are going to eventually change the world in a big way. And they will, because your life matters. It does matter. And where you are now is the perfect place. It's exactly where I need you to be. So please reach out in DMs. Please reach out and let me know if there are any questions. I'm going to leave some resources in the comments, so you guys are more than welcome to read those. I'm going to leave my own personal DM so that you guys can DM me personally. And I'm wishing you the absolute best Sunday ever. I'm so excited. I'm so proud of all of you. And to those who are beyond recovery, thank you so much for your DMs and your interest in doing work beyond recovery, because it's one of my specialties and it's something I don't normally get to talk about. So I really appreciate the opportunity you've given me. To all my loves, we will talk next. Well, we're going to go every other Sunday. So not next Sunday, but the Sunday after, and you'll get bombarded with notices. You will not be able to, or you will not have the excuse to miss it. So please don't worry about what date or time. I'm going to continue to let you know and keep you in the loop. All right, my loves, have a wonderful week, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.